I'll destroy everything you love, she said, smiling through her tears. It was so quiet, no one would have heard it, if not for the silence that fell over the kitchen after the door slammed. But I heard it, because I'd been waiting, because I knew she'd say it out loud someday. And now she had. And she smiled. Through her tears, yes, but she smiled. My name is Lina. I'm 38. I'm a mother of 2, a wife, a daughter, a sister, and, as it turned out, an enemy. An enemy to my own sister. The one I'd shared a crib with, toys, school notebooks, even my first love. Maybe that's when something inside me cracked, when Margot kissed Jake, my Jake, for the first time. But I patched the crack with a smile and said, it's fine. Let him be happy. And I walked away. As I always did. Margot and I are 2 sides of the same coin. She's bright, bold, afraid of nothing. I'm quiet, cautious, always calculating. She's an artist who lives on inspiration. I'm an accountant who lives by numbers. She's been divorced twice. I've been married once and hope it's forever. She has a downtown studio. I have a suburban house with a garden and swings in the yard. She thrives in chaos. I crave order. And it would have been fine if not for one thing. Margot can't stand seeing anyone happier than she is. She never said it outright, but I felt it. Every visit was a test. She'd come, look at my children, my husband, my clean floors and fresh flowers on the windowsill, and something cold would flicker in her eyes. Envy? Resentment? Or just pain because she didn't have what I did. At first, it was small things. She accidentally broke my favorite vase. Oops, sorry, my hands were shaking. Then she'd forget to turn off the iron when she left. I'd find it hot on the kitchen table. Then came the 3 a.m. calls. Are you asleep? I can't sleep. I'm lonely. I stopped answering. So she started texting my husband. Innocent at first. How are you? How are the kids? You're such a great dad. But I saw how he read them with slight discomfort, uncertainty. He never replied, but he never blocked her either. One day, I found a note in his coat pocket. You deserve better. No signature. But the handwriting was hers. I said nothing. Just put it back. And thought, fine. You want war? You'll get it. I didn't plan to ruin her life. I just wanted her to stop. But Margot doesn't know how to stop. She's like a hurricane, either she destroys everything or she doesn't exist. The turning point was my daughter's birthday. She turned 7. We threw a small party, balloons, a unicorn cake, 10 little girls in glittery dresses. Margot came with a gift, an expensive doll, almost lifelike. My daughter was thrilled. Then, after everyone left, I found the doll in the trash. Head torn off. Beside it, a note. You think your daughter is happy? Look closer. I didn't cry. I just sat on the kitchen floor and closed my eyes. One thought looped in my head. She touched my children. That crossed the line. Everything changed from that moment. I started small. First, her coffee. She drank it every morning at her favorite corner cafe. I approached the barista, a guy I'd gone to college with, and asked him to add a pinch of salt instead of sugar to her order. Not enough to be obvious. Just enough to make the taste strange, unpleasant. Enough for her to feel something was off, but not know what. Then I found her social media account and began tracking every post. She shared her paintings, got likes, comments. I created a fake profile, a young artist from another city. I messaged her, "You're brilliant. Your work is a soul's cry." She replied. We started chatting. I praised her, encouraged her, even offered her a gallery show through a friend. She believed me. Agreed to meet. I booked a hall at a cultural center and paid anonymously. A day before the event, I canceled the reservation, writing as the gallery. Unfortunately, your work doesn't align with our vision. Margot messaged me. What happened? Why did they say that? I replied, maybe you're not as brilliant as you think. She didn't answer, but I saw her delete half her posts. Next, I found her landlord. Learned her lease ended in 2 months. I sent him an anonymous letter. Your tenant throws loud parties, drinks, invites suspicious people. Neighbors are complaining. A week later, he told Margot he wouldn't renew. She called me, hysterical. Someone's lying about me. Do you know who? I said, life isn't fair. She moved to a cheaper apartment on the outskirts, no elevator, a leaking faucet. I knew how much she hated domestic drudgery, how she couldn't stand broken things. A week later, I anonymously hired a plumber who accidentally shut off water to her building for 2 days. She posted in the residents group, "Who did this?" No one answered. But the worst thing I did involved her job. Margot taught art to children at a private school. She loved it. Said the kids were her salvation. I contacted the school's director and sent a letter posing as concerned parents. We're worried about teacher Margot. She lets kids draw disturbing images. One boy drew himself dead. This isn't normal. I attached a doctored photo, fake, but convincing. The director called her in. She defended herself, but they fired her. For the children's well-being, they said. That evening, she showed up at my door unannounced. Drenched in rain, eyes hollow. "It was you," she said. Not a question. A statement. I didn't deny it. "You touched my children," I replied. "I didn't touch them. I just wanted you to feel what it's like to be me. You don't get to use my children as weapons." She laughed, bitter, joyless. "You think I don't know what you're doing? You think I don't see you tearing my life apart piece by piece? But you know what? I don't feel anything anymore. And now neither will you." I didn't understand what she meant until a week later when my son disappeared. He was 9, left for school in the morning and never came back. My husband and I lost our minds. Police, cameras, searches. Nothing. 2 days later, he was found in a park in a tent with water and sandwiches. He said, "Aunt Margot invited me to play." She hadn't kidnapped him, just took him. They walked, ate, played. Then she dropped him at the park and said, "Go home. Say you got lost." The police didn't press charges. No criminal intent, they said. But I knew it was a warning. I went to her new apartment, stood on the landing, pounding on the door. She wouldn't open. So I sat on the floor and waited. An hour later, she came out. "What do you want?" she asked. Stop. Stop all of this. Will you?" I stayed silent. "You started it," she said. "You thought you could control my life like numbers in your spreadsheet. But I'm not a number, Lina. I'm a person. And I have feelings too. You had no right to touch my children. And you had no right to take everything I had." We stood facing each other like enemies after a long war, exhausted, empty, ruined. "What do you want?" I asked. "I want you to understand. I want you to feel the pain. I want you to know what it's like to lose everything you love." "I've already lost everything," I said. "I lost my sister." She looked away. "Maybe," she whispered. "But you still have your family, your home, your life. And I have nothing. You destroyed it yourself." "No, you started it." We stood in silence for a long time. Then I turned and walked away. The next day, I quit my job, sold my car, transferred money to her account, anonymous. Not out of pity, out of exhaustion. Because I realized revenge brings no relief. It only leaves ash. A month later, Margot left town, moved to another city, said she was starting over. We didn't speak. But sometimes I get postcards. No signature, just images. The sea, mountains, old streets. And on the back, one word, "Sorry." I don't reply, but I keep the postcards in a box, next to a childhood drawing of us, 2 girls holding hands under a rainbow. Revenge is a mirror, and the longer you stare into it, the more you become the person you hate. And I don't want to be her. I want to be a mother, a wife, a sister, even if she's far away. Because in the end, the only thing left after all the battles is love. Even if it's wounded, even if it's broken, even if it's silent. But it's there. And that's enough.